Are you tired of constantly feeling hurt by the actions and words of others? Do you find yourself taking things personally more often than not? In this video, we dive deep into the teachings of Buddhism to discover how you can break free from the trap of personalizing everything. Lesson 1. Understand the nature of reality. Buddhism teaches us that the world we experience is shaped by our perceptions. The way we see the world is not always the way it truly is. Everything is constantly changing. Nothing remains the same from one moment to the next. This is the nature of impermanence. When we deeply understand this, we can begin to let go of the habit of taking things personally. In Buddhism, it is said that all phenomena arise due to causes and conditions. People's words and actions come from their own experiences, thoughts, and emotions. They are shaped by their past, their upbringing, and their own struggles. What others say or do is a reflection of their inner world, not a judgment of ours. This understanding helps us see that their behavior is not about us. The teaching of non-self, or anatta, reminds us that we are not a fixed identity. We are not a permanent self. Instead, we are a collection of experiences, thoughts, and feelings that come and go. When someone criticizes or praises us, they are responding to their perception of us, not who we truly are. Their perception is influenced by their own mind and conditions. By realizing this, we free ourselves from the weight of their judgments. Understanding the nature of reality also involves recognizing the interconnectedness of all things. Everything is interdependent. The words of another person are shaped by countless factors beyond our control. When someone speaks harshly, it may be because they are suffering. Their pain spills over into their words. This is not about us, it is about their own struggles. This wisdom allows us to respond with compassion instead of defensiveness. Impermanence teaches us that even our feelings about being hurt will not last forever. Emotions come and go like clouds passing through the sky. They arise, stay for a while, and fade away. We don't have to hold on to them. By seeing emotions as temporary, we can avoid being trapped by them. We can let them pass without making them part of our identity. The nature of reality also shows us that clinging leads to suffering. When we cling to the idea that people must treat us a certain way, we create unnecessary pain. We cannot control how others act, but we can control how we respond. By letting go of expectations, we find freedom. We stop taking things personally because we see that the actions of others are not under our control. Through mindfulness and meditation, we can train our minds to see reality more clearly. We can observe our thoughts and feelings without becoming attached to them. This practice allows us to step back and see the bigger picture. We realize that what happens is not about us but about the ever-changing flow of life. With this understanding, we can live with greater peace and wisdom. Lesson 2. Separate action from identity. Buddhism teaches that actions are separate from identity. What people do or say is not who they are. Similarly, our own actions do not define our true nature. When someone speaks harshly to us, it does not mean we are unworthy. Their actions are a result of their own state of mind, not a reflection of our value. In Buddhist teachings, the principle of karma explains how actions arise. Karma means action. It is not about punishment or reward but about cause and effect. When someone acts out of anger or frustration, it creates consequences for them. Their actions stem from their inner world, shaped by their thoughts and feelings. Understanding this helps us see that their actions are not about us but about their own karma. Separating action from identity also applies to how we view ourselves. We often take mistakes or failures as a sign of who we are. But Buddhism reminds us that no one is perfect. Everyone makes mistakes. These mistakes are opportunities to learn, not reasons to feel unworthy. Our identity is not fixed. It is not determined by a single action or even a series of actions. We are more than the sum of our mistakes. When we separate action from identity, we can respond to others with kindness instead of anger. We see their actions as a product of their suffering. We do not need to take their words personally because they do not define us. We can choose to respond with understanding instead of reacting with hurt. Compassion is a key teaching in Buddhism. Compassion arises when we see the pain behind someone's actions. Instead of focusing on the words or deeds that hurt us, we can look deeper. We can see the struggles and suffering that lead to those actions. This understanding allows us to let go of resentment. It helps us to see that the other person's actions are not about us but about their own difficulties. Meditation can help us practice this separation. When we meditate, we observe our thoughts without attaching to them. We see that our thoughts come and go, just like the actions of others. This awareness helps us create space between what happens and how we feel about it. We learn to respond with clarity and calmness. By separating action from identity, we also free ourselves from the opinions of others. What others think of us does not define who we are. Their judgments are shaped by their own perceptions, not by our true nature. This realization allows us to live with confidence and inner peace. We stop giving power to others' words and start seeing ourselves with wisdom and compassion. Lesson 3: Use wise reflection. Buddhism teaches the importance of wise reflection. Wise reflection means looking at situations with clarity and understanding. It helps us see the truth of what is happening. When we reflect wisely, we do not react impulsively. Instead, we respond with wisdom and calmness. Wise reflection begins with mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment. When we are mindful, we notice our thoughts and feelings without judgment. We observe them as they are, not as we want them to be. This awareness helps us understand our reactions. We see why we feel hurt or upset. We understand that these feelings are temporary and do not define us. Through wise reflection, we can examine the words and actions of others. We ask ourselves whether their words are true or not. If someone criticizes us, we reflect on whether their criticism is valid. If it is true, we can use it as an opportunity to grow. If it is not true, we can let it go. We do not need to carry the burden of false judgments. Buddhism teaches that our thoughts create our reality. When we reflect wisely, we see how our thoughts shape our experiences. If we take everything personally, we create suffering for ourselves. But if we see things with clarity, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. Wise reflection helps us change our perspective. It allows us to see the bigger picture. Wise reflection also involves looking at the intentions behind actions. People's words and deeds are often influenced by their own struggles. When someone speaks harshly, it may be because they are in pain. Their actions are not about us but about their own state of mind. By reflecting on this, we can respond with compassion instead of anger. Meditation is a powerful tool for wise reflection. In meditation, we create a space of stillness where we can observe our thoughts and feelings. We learn to let go of unhelpful thoughts and focus on what is true. This practice helps us see things as they are, not as we imagine them to be. It gives us the clarity to respond wisely in any situation. Through wise reflection, we also learn to forgive. Forgiveness does not mean we approve of harmful actions. It means we release the burden of resentment. We understand that holding on to anger only hurts us. By reflecting on the causes of others' actions, we can let go of blame. We find peace by freeing ourselves from the need to take things personally. Lesson 4: Focus on inner peace. Buddhism emphasizes the importance of inner peace. Inner peace is a state of calmness and balance. It is not dependent on external circumstances. It comes from within. When we focus on inner peace, we stop being affected by the actions and words of others. Inner peace begins with mindfulness. Mindfulness helps us stay present in the moment. It allows us to observe our thoughts and feelings without being controlled by them. When someone says or does something hurtful, we do not have to react immediately. We can pause, breathe, and respond with calmness. This practice helps us protect our inner peace. In Buddhism, meditation is a path to inner peace. Through meditation, we quiet the mind and connect with our true nature. We learn to let go of thoughts that disturb our peace. We realize that we do not need to hold on to anger, hurt, or resentment. These emotions arise and fade away. By letting them go, we create space for peace. Compassion is also a key to inner peace. When we understand the suffering of others, we stop taking their actions personally. We see that their hurtful words come from their own pain. Instead of reacting with anger, we respond with kindness. Compassion helps us maintain our peace even in difficult situations. Inner peace requires letting go of attachment. Buddhism teaches that clinging to ideas, expectations, or desires creates suffering. When we expect others to act a certain way, we set ourselves up for disappointment. By letting go of these attachments, we free ourselves from unnecessary pain. We stop being affected by the actions of others. Gratitude is another way to cultivate inner peace. When we focus on the positive aspects of our lives, we feel a sense of contentment. We stop dwelling on the words or actions that hurt us. Gratitude helps us shift our attention to what truly matters. It reminds us of the blessings we have and the beauty of the present moment. Inner peace also comes from understanding impermanence. Everything in life is temporary. The words that hurt us will not last forever. The emotions we feel will pass. By remembering this, we can let go of the need to hold on to negativity. We can focus on the peace that comes from within. When we prioritize inner peace, we stop giving power to others' actions. We realize that our peace is not determined by what happens outside of us. It is a choice we make every day. Through mindfulness, meditation, compassion, and gratitude, we create a life filled with peace and harmony. Lesson 5. Turn criticism into a teacher. In Buddhism, challenges are seen as opportunities for growth. Criticism, no matter how it is delivered, can be a valuable teacher. Instead of rejecting it or feeling hurt, we can use it to learn and improve. By shifting our perspective, we transform criticism into a tool for wisdom. Criticism often stirs our ego. The ego wants to defend itself. It wants to prove that it is right. But Buddhism teaches us to let go of the ego. The ego is not who we truly are. It is a false sense of self that clings to pride and insecurity. When we release the ego, we can accept criticism without taking it personally. Wise reflection helps us evaluate criticism. When someone criticizes us, we can ask ourselves if their words have truth. If they are correct, we can take their feedback as guidance. We can use it to grow and become better. If their criticism is unfair or untrue, we can let it go. We do not need to carry the weight of false judgments. Buddhism teaches that humility is a virtue. Humility allows us to see our flaws without feeling ashamed. It helps us recognize that everyone has room to grow. When we approach criticism with humility, we see it as a chance to learn. We stop seeing it as a personal attack and start seeing it as an opportunity. Meditation can help us process criticism. When we meditate, we create space between our feelings and our reactions. We observe our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. This practice helps us respond to criticism with clarity and calmness. We learn to listen without becoming defensive. Compassion is another tool for dealing with criticism. When someone criticizes us harshly, it may be because they are struggling. Their words may reflect their own pain or frustration. By understanding this, we can respond with kindness instead of anger. Compassion helps us see beyond the surface and understand the deeper causes of their actions. Turning criticism into a teacher also involves gratitude. Even harsh criticism can teach us something valuable. It can show us areas where we can grow. It can help us develop patience and resilience. By being grateful for the lessons it offers, we transform criticism into a positive force in our lives. Through mindfulness, humility, and compassion, we can use criticism as a path to wisdom. We stop taking it personally and start seeing it as a teacher. This shift in perspective brings us freedom and inner strength. Lesson 6. See yourself as a river, not a rock. Buddhism teaches that life is like a flowing river. Everything is in constant motion. Nothing stays the same. We are not fixed identities. We are a continuous flow of experiences, thoughts, and feelings. When we see ourselves as a river, we stop clinging to the idea of a permanent self. This understanding helps us let go of the need to take things personally. A river flows freely. It adapts to obstacles without resistance. When someone says or does something hurtful, we can be like the river. We let their words flow past us without holding on to them. We do not let their actions define us. We keep moving forward, carrying only what nourishes us. Seeing ourselves as a river also means embracing change. We are not the same person we were yesterday. Our thoughts, feelings, and experiences are constantly evolving. When someone criticizes us, they are responding to a moment in time. Their words are not a judgment of our entire being. By understanding this, we free ourselves from the weight of their opinions. Buddhism teaches that clinging creates suffering. When we cling to the idea of who we think we are, we feel hurt by criticism or rejection. But when we see ourselves as a river, we let go of this attachment. We realize that we are not a fixed identity. We are a flow of possibilities. This realization brings freedom and peace. A river is connected to everything around it. It is shaped by the land it flows through, the rain that feeds it, and the sun that warms it. In the same way, we are interconnected with the world. The actions and words of others are part of this interconnectedness. They are not about us but about the flow of life. By understanding this, we stop taking things personally and start seeing the bigger picture. Meditation helps us connect with the flow of life. Through meditation, we observe our thoughts and feelings as they come and go. We see that they are like the ripples in a river, always changing. This practice helps us embrace impermanence. It reminds us that nothing, not even hurtful words, lasts forever. When we see ourselves as a river, we respond to life with grace and flexibility. We stop being rigid like a rock, holding on to pain and resentment. Instead, we let go and flow with the natural rhythm of life. This perspective brings us peace and freedom. It allows us to live with wisdom and compassion, unaffected by the actions of others.